Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Up You with Ezinne, your favorite female centric program, where we bring you insightful conversations on empowering women. Good morning. Good morning. How are you all doing? I hope everyone is being intentional about living in the moment. Good morning. Our theme for February is empowering bonds. Empowering bonds is a team that focuses on the strength and support we find in our connections with others. And this morning, we will be exploring this theme further under the topic Nurturing Relationships in a Glamorous World. It's Up You with Ezinne, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezinne Kufrekanem, and I'm your host. As always, I'm thrilled to have you join us today on the episode. Our topic is nurturing relationships in a glamorous world. A very intriguing topic, if you ask me. Nurturing relationships in a glamorous world. It is one thing to find your bond and nurture it peacefully in your one corner of the world. It's a totally different kettle of fish when your bond is a celebrity bond and in the eye of the public. In a world where glitz and glamour often take the spotlight, it's important not to forget the importance of genuine connections and nurturing meaningful relationships. Although it may seem like a glamorous lifestyle, although it may seem that a glamorous lifestyle brings endless parties and distractions, cultivating healthy relationships is vital for overall happiness and fulfillment. So come with us as we delve into the world of love, inspiration, connection with our gracious guest on the show today. Be prepared to be inspired by the stories of love and the empowering bonds that endure when amidst the glitz, even amidst the glitz and the challenges of the unique celebrity life. Be kind to follow us on all our social media platforms at UpYou with Ezinne on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. We'd love to connect with you and keep the conversation going long after this live has ended. Please like and share this stream as you join in. It's one way you help our ministry so that we can continue to serve you better. Please like, share. Let's bring in as many women as we can in here. The topic today is nurturing relationships in a glamorous world. May I remind you that all episodes of Up You with Ezinne are on our YouTube and podcast channels at Up You with Ezinne. Be sure to follow us and don't miss a thing. As you come in, settle in nicely because it's about time to bring up our guest who is already in the studio. So stay with me. This is Up You with Ezinne. If you're just joining us, this is Up You with Ezinne, and the topic on the banner is nurturing relationships in a glamorous world. Our guest today is Nyong Bassey-Inyang, a mother and a wife to the esteemed actor Mr. Keppy Ekpeyong. She brings a unique perspective on love and how it transcends the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. Together, let's explore the profound meaning of love in their lives, the challenges they face, and the empowering bonds that unite their family. Dear listeners, everyone, please join me in welcoming a very special guest today. Nyong. Nyong. Did I say your name right?
Yes, it is in there. I forgive you, even if you said it wrong. But yeah, you said it very, very right. Nyong.
Do you know how long I've been practicing?
I, I can't imagine. Oh, I can imagine.
I said to myself, you know what? I have to say this name right.
Abi?
I have to own it with my full chest.
Yes.
Mm. So let's go there. Abadia.
Idi okay ni kami them for.
Ah, you have fun. Everything is good.
Fantastic.
Oh my
Fantastic.
goodness. But you know what?
Fantastic.
I'm gonna stick to calling you NY. Is that fine?
Yes. Yeah, that's That's fine.
Great. So that I don't bite my tongue when I'm saying young, young.
No, but you're saying the young very well.
Yes, because I was taught.
No, but
You're
I
taught
want to
that.
encourage. I want to encourage you to continue saying the young. We
Okay,
cannot.
great.
We cannot. We cannot let the motherland down.
That's a good one. All
Yeah.
right. By the way, you look amazing. You look
Oh,
like
thank
you're the one doing the interviewing.
Isn't it? Because I know you. I spruced up this morning because Ezinne is never caught on fresh.
Oh
I
no,
am not going to be the one that you're going to catch on fresh.
it's a
Eh?
sin to be sort of fresh. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It's actually a sin to
Yeah,
be
you
sort of
should.
fresh.
You should look fantastic all the time.
Yeah, he makes the devil go crazy. He wonders after all the things I'm throwing at you, you're still doing this.
Ah,
Oh my goodness.
it's
Welcome to
such
the
a
show.
pleasure.
It is,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
I'm
you. It's a
actually
pleasure.
very, 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 very thrilled to have you on the show.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
are you ready? Shall we
Yeah.
roll?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay, great, fantastic. So let's start with your perspective and your understanding of the topic today. Could you please share?
Yes. The topic is um relationships in the glamorous world, right?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not different from a day-to-day relationship because the only extra to that relationship is the glamour and the glitz. But that shouldn't come into my relationship. There should be a barrier, you know. There should be a point where your relationship is on the outside and where your relationship is on the inside. Um I'm the kind of person who doesn't really change actually. I'm just me. And I'm lucky I'm married to somebody who is just him. He doesn't bring the glamour home. The glamour stays where it is. And every time we're out together, we're still the same people. Maybe there are days when you're not very excited and happy about this thing called love. But nobody's supposed to know that. You don't wear your problems on your forehead, you know.
When there's
So
makeup.
when there's makeup, we'll make up and we keep going. You
Yes,
know,
so
that's it. So, glamour and romance, I think, whether we like it or not, are not meant to be together. Romance is romance, glamour is glamour. You know, of course, you need to keep up, you need to keep your chin up because you can't be seen to let people down, it just makes things a bit more difficult, because you're supposed to be this um, larger than life person. So everybody assumes that your life is perfect. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Every man is a man. It's just a man. Every woman is just a woman. Forget about the polishing. And, because it's glamour, you even need to put in an extra. But you're still just a human being, you know? You're just a human being. And your public doesn't want to know that you have off days and on days. They just want to see you looking 100% all the time. And all the time, your life is 100%, but that's not real life. So that's how I see it. That's how I understand this.
interesting stuff. I like a couple of things that you shared.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you up front, I'm one of those who um, always wonder how the stars roll. How does it feel to be married to a star? How does it feel to have an empowering bond with a star? Do they bring stardom home?
Home.
Because you see, so it's interesting to hear from you that in your own case,
Mhm.
the people that are in your house are normal human beings,
They
you
have
know,
to be.
are normal human beings, and that because you see, whether you like it or not, we are all spectators in your relationships.
Yes,
Every
true.
single person who is a public figure, we are all, the rest of us are spectators.
Yeah.
And what social media has taught me in particular is that we all have um, opinions
Yes,
about your relationships.
true.
So we decide. whether you're happy or not, whether you're well matched or not, whether you're bonding or not, whether it's empowering. We are the ones who make the decisions for you. So the pressure is so much. And I just
It's a lot.
wonder, yeah. So I'm glad to hear that when you get off the streets, for instance, and open the door to your home and walk in, you walk in as Nyong, not as Enwai.
Yes. Mm.
Oh,
I'm just mommy at that point and wife.
which is why you did what you did with the profile, because you
Yes.
just wanted it
Yes.
to be clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. That's nice to know.
Yes.
Okay, so now, and you touched a bit on balancing, but the balancing act that has to go on in this pairing bonds that we have. So I
Yeah.
want to ask you, how do you balance love and personal aspirations? Because sometimes, um, when one person is a celebrity and the other isn't,
Hmm.
how do you now balance, so that
Okay.
one person's life does not become
Does not
subsumed in another
overwhelm
person's
the
own? Yeah.
others.
Mm.
Okay. See, for instance, I from the get go, um, I had to I had to realize that I'm not the celebrity. Kepi is a celebrity. The good thing about Kepi is such a regular guy that you don't.
No, 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 no. Please don't tell us that. That's Mr. Unical you're talking about
Ah,
there.
no, Mr. Let me see. See finish. See finish has also entered this matter. But he keeps himself, Mr. Unical. It's obvious. I mean, he works at keeping that body. That man
Mm.
works, he's perpetually lifting. Um,
Oh,
but
wow.
he's also a regular guy. I like for instance, okay, let me demystify the poor man. Kepi washes my car. He enjoys it. When we were younger and the kids were younger, he enjoyed washing the children's things. So you see why I don't see him as a star? His mom was perpetually angry. How can my son be washing? And he'd be like, but she's my wife. Did I marry her to enslave her? She's mother of my
Oh,
children. She has work with them. And it's always been um I took a step back. I didn't work when the kids were growing up at all. I didn't work, especially in their formative years. My work was solely to take care of the children. Let me tell you a funny story that happened. My daughter, when she was about, I think she was 3. Yes, she was 3. She started school at 2. Well, it wasn't school, of course, it was playgroup.
mhm.
But it was school because the school they went to, Mrs. Madiebo, lovely lady, you wouldn't have known they were just there as a playgroup. She could count 1 to 100, do colors, shapes, and things. So it was a beautiful place. So I keep forgetting that it wasn't school. And at this point, we had moved her to another school because she had outgrown crash.
Mhm.
I took her to school every morning and picked her up after school every day. And then one day I wasn't feeling very well. And her dad went to pick her up and she refused to follow him.
Oh my goodness.
She said, my mommy picks me up. Why are you here? My children are very vocal. So, like from an early age, I always addressed her like I was, addressing an adult. Somebody came one day, walked past the window, and came he said, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "Yang." He was very shocked. He said, "I thought there was an adult in the house." I said, "No, that was my daughter," and she was barely 2 then. So she said, "I'm not following you home. Where's my mommy? I'm not going with you. Where's my mommy?" And he said, "Mommy's at home. She's not feeling well." She was very upset. She went ahead of him. Mainly got home. She came down, came and met me. I was like, "Mommy, what's wrong with you? Why did Daddy come and pick me up?" That's because they
Exactly.
were used to me being very hands on. And she said to me, "Don't be sick again. Next time, Daddy will not pick me." You know. And so after this time, Kepi made sure that he was there when we were going to school, and he was there when I was picking up the children. So for the longest time, except he was on set, you know would go together to go drop the kids in the morning, and then in the afternoon we'll go pick the kids up together. So he wanted to be that much of a hands-on dad. you
Yeah,
know.
so he
So
doesn't miss out on the lives
mm-mm,
and growing up moments of his
he
children.
absolutely
You,
hasn't.
you can imagine that if this happened in 2024, they could have even have accused him of trying to come and steal a child, not knowing it was his own
Ah,
child.
well, they knew it was his child, because
Yes, I'm
somehow,
saying, I mean,
like,
the world was saying that back then. I mean, if it was now,
hmm, it was no, but even now, because even when I went to when her first day in school, we went together. When I think the only went for school. The only time he wasn't involved was when my daughter was the first crash. Yeah, the very first school I wanted to take her to. I took her to a popular school, one of those church crashes,
Mhm.
and after they gave me a serious investigation. First and foremost, they didn't believe I was the mother of the child because isn't it? This is the reason why I added weight. Because when I lose weight, you would question my age. So imagine how I must have looked when I was younger. So first, they didn't believe I was the mother of the child. So they even asked to see a marriage certificate. It was very annoying.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you. And 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 I was like, I don't understand. So if okay, let's say for instance, this child's father and I were not together. You guys would not take her in your school. And so when I got home and I said this to Keppy, he was so upset. So subsequently, any school I went to, would go together. So they knew he was the father, but the child refused to go
Yeah.
home with her dad
Yes,
because
I get
she
that. Yeah,
wasn't
that's what I'm
used to
saying.
this.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
So
That if
yes, maybe now
if
they
they
would
make
have
that
arrested him.
reaction now, they will now social media will come up with us. They will video
Oh
it,
my God.
and they will come up with all sorts of stuff. Ah, maybe he has
Yeah.
been. Maybe he's not. Maybe
Maybe.
this child
Yes.
must have felt something to
Court,
say.
court of public opinion, which is the social media now, yes, would have gotten
Do
to
you
him.
understand? But it's really very, very, very good to hear all of this, because
Yeah.
these are the ingredients of empowering bonds. The fact that
Yeah.
two people are pitching in to actually do life. You know,
Yes.
when we get into these bonds, yeah, we really do not even know what we're going to see because it is the actual day to day of ensuring that the bond stays live,
Yeah.
stays hot, stays popping, stays
Oh, well,
real,
I
stays
true.
empowering. That is the
Yes,
real job. So it's
that's
good to
the job.
know that this is that irrespective of stardom, that a father is a father.
Oh, he is. He's 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a
So
100%.
the Nollywood factor.
Yeah.
You're trying to mystify my brother, but I'm not agreeing.
No, I don't demystify again. I have given up on demystify.
I'm not agreeing. So please tell us, how does being married to an actor
Mm,
impact your relationship? Uh,
okay.
and what steps do you take to preserve trust, connection, and understanding in a competitive and often unpredictable industry?
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
speaking this English because I don't want to go into, there's some not to be broadcast words that I can't use,
I
but
know.
I'm sure that you can decode.
Especially at this time. Anyway, okay. So like I said,
Yes.
Cap is a regular guy. So honestly, he
Stop
leaves
saying this
work.
thing. Kepi is a star.
Oh yeah,
Kepi
he
is a
is.
celebrity. It's
Trust
not on my
me.
show that you're going to come and be saying
No,
this.
no, no. Trust me, eh? I get moments when the kids will come and say, "Mommy, I keep forgetting that is a star. Oh." Somebody
Oh,
found out. Found somebody was like, "That's your father? My God!" And then I'll be like, "Ah, yeah, that's my father now." Then it will click. I'm like, "Oh, that's my father, oh, really?" My dad is a star. So
mhm.
yes, unfortunately, I keep saying Kepi is a regular guy because he really, really tries to keep all that at the door. He doesn't bring it home,
Hmm.
and he's really a regular guy in that he would even him sometimes says, I don't forget say Namio, he's a bully. so so he walks on the street. Kepi would deliberately work. He will walk instead of taking a ride.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just 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 to show people that I can. you know.
Excuse me, when you look that good, when you're that tall, when you've got all that muscle, you need to strut it. You need to walk
Have you
it.
seen his legs? He has the straightest, beautifulest legs I have seen on a man.
Okay, I'm out of the studio. I just left the studio for you.
So he's so yes, Nollywood. Um, Fortunately, I know a lot of his colleagues, one on one, and then somehow, it's no matter how it is, it's actually a close knit family. So they would know that, oh, this is Keppy's wife, and everybody will accord you the respect and you know and play. So sometimes when people say, oh, this person is standoffish, I'm like, okay, okay, I didn't notice. But then also that's because I really don't give you space or time to be standoffish. I'm a hugger. I meet you, I hug you. Okay, well, during COVID, I suffered. I didn't do a lot of hugging, but so somehow, and I also want to believe I'm a bubbly person. So somehow you would like me. So I don't get that standoffishness that you would get, if you were one of the wives who tries to. I don't give you that space. So Nollywood, being the industry that it is and the glamour within, um, I think I don't even know how to answer this particular answer because I'm Nollywood myself. So I don't see that. And I also see that all this, especially because I'm married to one, that all these people are just human beings. So they're just regular people. There are days when they're happy. And of course, you come up to them and you would know that this person is happy with the world. And then there are days when they're not happy and you can tell. So if you have an iota of sense, you would stick back or hold back at that point. You won't be as effervescent or bubbly as you would be. You would also appreciate their space and you would appreciate the person. But I always see all of them as just human beings. Do you
Okay,
understand?
let me
Yeah.
let me drive. Let me bring this down. In
Yeah.
the very recent past,
Yeah.
there were two notable Nollywood weddings,
Okay. Yeah.
and at one of the weddings, the bride knelt before the performing artist,
Artist. Yeah.
and the whole
A
streets of
storm.
social media
Yes.
went agog. Um, it was almost like, why would you do a thing like that? And all manner of innuendos and meanings
Yeah. We're
were
ready
put
into
into
it.
something that was obviously a very simple act
Innocent
of,
acts. Yes.
yes, that's one. And then the second one would be the very recent wedding of Kunle Remi to his bride,
Yeah.
where the streets already chose a wife for him. And so by the time he was unveiling who he wanted to marry, the person that completes him, that he thinks he can go on an empowering journey with, the streets were like, no, he can't be this person. Oh, no, it is because of this or it's because of that and all of that. So I'm just wondering, how do you guys cope with this kind of energy?
Well, a
Because
lot of us,
this kind of energy is
it's draining.
cold, cold
Yeah.
drain,
It can be
cold
draining.
drain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's why I see everybody as everybody else. I keep reminding people because, like, they'll say, oh, somebody's getting divorced. It becomes a huge deal. But this person is just a person. They feel the kind of pain you feel. They feel the kind of joys you feel. So if something is not going right and they decide to make a decision, which by the way doesn't concern you because they're human beings. They are their own personal person. Yeah, fine, they have fans and they're looked on as role models, but they're just human beings, finally. So this what would happen to you would happen to them as well. Yes, the girl was excited to see somebody apparently she was she thought of as a star in her own perspective.
How can a
This
star think of another person as a star?
you
That's the
can.
question, really.
No, you can't see another
No,
person.
no,
You
no, I'm
can be
saying that's the
excited.
way the
People were
street
looking at
felt.
it, yes. But the thing is, you have to put yourself in their shoes. and remember that they're just human. She was excited. She wasn't expecting to see this person. She had probably her best friend, it was her bestie who brought the guy on, had realized that, oh, this would bring her so much joy, and had arranged it. And she was overwhelmed. If her husband doesn't complain, who are the rest of us to complain? As for Kunle and his wife, there were so many stories. Oh, initially she was innocent and sweet. And then when she showed them that she could be a baddie as well, everybody went crazy. How dare you? But really, how dare her not? It was the most exciting day for her so far in her life. You know, there'll be other exciting days, but this is how she chose to express this excitement. And Kunle is just a guy in her eyes. Yes, he's more than a guy in your eyes. Just like you keep reminding me that I cannot demystify Keppy. But
Yes, we are the
I
farms.
chose, I chose to be this way because. But can you imagine if I was so overwhelmed by him that I couldn't speak, I couldn't eat, I couldn't express myself? That would be a problem. I mean,
Admittedly, yes. And I think that's the
yeah.
problem in this kind of relationships because some people actually begin to believe their press um, clips and they
Ah,
strut it. They strut it so much that even when they get to their better halves or their immediate
it
family,
just, but those kind of people I think are not human, are not normal. They're not normal normally because I mean, why should you not know that this is my person and then behave this way, a certain way outside the way you would behave with your stars? Um, Sometimes I would say to my husband, I'll say, this man, why you you're a human being, oh, why are you behaving like this? Calm down. I I stressed the poor fellow, but then he chose me.
and that is the mark of a confident woman. She says he chose me, and
Yeah,
so I'm going to just keep
I
stressing
I,
his
I
life
was
in
yeah
a very
I
nice
was just
way.
going along on my own by myself when he colored me and hooked me and kept.
Okay, now you mentioned something, and I will
Mhm.
go there. What
Okay.
do you think about what's your perspective of supporting and loving the individual that you
Yeah.
marry, you know, beyond the public image and professional achievements? I ask this because what we hear these days on the streets of social media is I did this for you, I did that for you, I built a house for your mother, I supported you, I. And I was thinking that empowering bonds are actually supposed to be bonds that where you support each
Me
other,
too. I won. Yeah.
exactly help each other, build
Yeah.
things together, and impact lives together. So what's your perspective and how has it been working for you?
Okay. Um, we have a partnership. We're partners in this relationship. One person isn't more than the other, and anytime one person tries to um, pull out of our earlier agreed agreements, the other person pulls the other person back in. You're not. It's sometimes when Cappy wants to do something, I'll say, this man I beg rest. He'll say, my wife, you're my wife, oh, you're not my slave. He says things like that. You know, I want to do stuff for my people. I do stuff for even strangers. So imagine the people I feel are my personal people. So I'm perpetually wanting to do stuff. And but I never forget the fact that yes, it is a partnership. If I step out of line, he pulls me back in. If he steps out of line, trust me, I am a puller back in person. Because I was going on my own jejely and you gave me ideas. I remember when I first started dating him, and I said to him, boys will always be boys. And he said, no, boys will not always be boys. You know, even if that's not how he feels, he made me realize that he's accountable to somebody. So I shouldn't expect that he can just go off and be, you know. And on the off chance that he forgets sometimes, me too, I remind him, I'm a hot stuff for this man. Eh? True. Recently we had an argument. We had falling out of sorts, and I reminded him. I said to him, I said, I do believe that a lot of people don't have it as good as you have it. He annoyed him for a, a short while because he had walked away. Then he came back and said, "What did you just say?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'm all that and more. So you lose it, you lose out." And he started laughing. He said, "You're not all right." I said, "Yes, I know. I mean, that's why you're with me because you chose me. I was going along with my merry way, and then you picked me. So you're not all right as well. The two are not all right people have come together, and we're a pot. So the thing is, you do these things. Yes, you might be more empowered than the other person, so you can get a few things done, but also don't lose sight of the fact that that other person also does a few things for you. This other person has lost out on this and has lost out on that for you. So remember that. It's difficult not to feel godlike sometimes in certain situations, but also remember that that other person deserves your respect and needs help sometimes. But I mean, it can't be. There's no relationship that is one-sided. The two parties come together and they do these things together. So if you feel like you're not getting enough, then maybe you shouldn't be there. Do you understand? If you feel like this other person is doing too much, then maybe you should do more. But communication is the backbone of all this. If I'm not happy with what you're doing, I will let you know. And especially from the get-go, if you knew that this was going to be too much for you to do, then don't even start. I always tell people, don't start what you can't start, you can't complete, you can't finish. So if you're feeling like you're giving more than the other person, then maybe you guys shouldn't be together. So I
Or
don't know if
maybe
that.
they. Yes,
I,
I perfectly agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to twist it a bit.
okay.
If you feel you're giving more than the other person, maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board and use
Yeah.
that thing that you talked about, communication.
Yeah,
You know,
communication is very
yes.
important.
And just go back to talking and trying to find out why you even got together in the first
In
place.
the first place, yeah.
Yes, and then find it. So thank you very much, honestly, for that answer. Telling us that it's good to give support to our
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah.
um, because the world is growing more insular. People are
Hmm.
becoming more selfish, and
Quite.
the more we are giving this narrative out, you find people saying, "I'm paying my way in this relationship, and that's all I'm going to do." Um, for a relationship to be empowering, there must be compromises. It's just
Yes.
give and take, and it
Yeah.
balances out.
Balance
And
it
so,
out.
yes, I like the fact that you mentioned communication because there is no bond that will survive if communication is not at top notch. So
Yes.
tell me, how do you and Keppy handle communication? Do you make out time to talk about things or just tell us?
Okay, so another thing I've tried to do in my relationship is make sure that things are not as serious. I don't take myself seriously, and I don't expect you to take yourself seriously either. Um, we've always had a very informal marriage, so to speak. Mm? Um, it took me the longest time to change my names. I still haven't changed. In fact, my banking details, when Kep is writing the check for me, he asks me, so which name should I use? Nyong Bassey-Inyang or Nyong Ifyum? So, so, so we don't make time out to communicate like we sit down and have a meeting. It's just part of the whole package, you know. Yes, we talk. Something is bothering me, I talk. I'm not one of those people that will wake you up in the middle of the night and say, hey, so this is the conversation. I also had to learn to communicate because I've always been so open and free that I never thought it was a thing. I have to call you to tell you, oh, this is what I need. I assume that you should feel it from my vibes. But when I learned that yes, I need to talk about things more often, I learned. I started making it a thing, to talk. Keppy has always been a talker. Yeah, I would just go along with the flow. But then at some point, especially as we get older, you realize that, man, it's different. So I don't take a lot of things. There are a lot of things that once upon a time weren't a big deal for me that are a big deal for me now. But I also balance it out, remembering that there are certain things I don't want you to treat me a certain way. So I treat you the way I expect you to treat me, you know. So that is why for the longest time communication was a problem, because I always assumed that you could tell from my general body language that, but now I talk. So, but we don't set time aside to, I don't say, hey, we're calling a meeting now. We just talk as we go. He does something I don't like, I tell him immediately. Unlike once upon a time, I honestly wouldn't have said, I probably would have stewed in it, you know, I'd have stewed in it, and I realize that you stew in it and it festers. That's why you have a lot of you have a lot of things falling apart because you're not talking enough. So the other person doesn't know that you don't like this thing, you know, and so it just festers. Then one day you snap. That's why when women snap, they actually snap, because a lot of women just take, and they don't speak. You know, Kepi likes talking, so I have learned to talk. I talk now. I don't like that thing. I think I talk too much now. I'm sure he can't forgive himself for making us start talking. Because once I am upset, I will let you know I'm upset. My children will tell you. My mommy will tell you immediately. She tells you as it is. She doesn't, My son keeps saying, before social media became a thing, I remember when he was younger, and more expressive, not now that he's a bigger boy. He will say, Mommy, I really should be recording you and putting you out there. You're a whole lot. I'm like, okay. So I do a lot of talking. I talk. He talks. The children talk. Everybody in the house is encouraged to speak up. Sometimes it's most annoying because really you don't want them to over speak up. But speak up is very important. So that communication thing is not a joke. We talk about things. We talk about things before we make decisions. Let me put it that way. And then we talk about things when we're not happy about what the other person is doing, which has helped a great deal. But we talk here. Communication, very important.
Thank
Very
you very
important.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you were talking, you mentioned something that is really very, very important. You
Mm.
mentioned the fact that a whole lot of us, our gender, we tend to bottle up things. And I
Yes.
think that stems from the belief that because a man is in love with you, he should actually mirror your soul from his
Yes. You should be able
standpoint.
to pick up on
You
my
know,
nuances.
he should be so into you that he should know that Ezinne didn't wake up well today from the her corner of the
Yes.
bed. You know,
Unfortunately, these men don't
Ezinne
notice.
actually, but you see, we are so wrong.
Yes.
Our expectations of the men in our lives is so huge, and
Larger than
honestly,
life.
that we all fall short if we do
True.
not cut them slack by
Yes.
opening up and talking. You know, a man, come on now. You have been growing up somewhere. Like you said, you were busy walking on the street, minding your business, and Keppy
Yes. So,
pops from somewhere and says, "You are the love of my life."
and
Okay,
yes, he
great.
did.
But you see, the truth is, you see, you have some things, some ways that you want things to be done. You have
Yeah.
some imaginations of what you think life, your relationship, marriage
Yeah.
should be. If
Yeah.
you don't communicate these things, he wouldn't know. He's not a
Mm.
magician.
Men
And
are
then,
clueless most times, actually.
exactly. And then that's why the nurturing part is basically the woman's job.
Yeah.
But you find that what happens is that you just get married and the guy throws you a ball of a wedding, and then He takes you out on date nights after the wedding. He dresses you up like a doll and all of that. And you just think that, you know what? He should have known. He
That I'd
should
rather wear
have.
I'd rather wear pants than wear a dress. How on earth would he have known?
Yeah,
How
he should have known. But nobody will know if you do not speak. So
if you don't
communication
speak? Yeah,
is really very,
very
very
important.
important
Quite,
in
quite.
building and nurturing relationships. You
Yeah,
know, there's this common saying that who you marry. Now, after you give your life to God, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or whatever you're worshiping,
yeah.
after the spiritual aspect of your life, the next most important thing is who you marry. It actually determines how far you go in life. You know, whether
True.
your dreams can come to life, whether you're going to
Yeah,
have the support to vet your dreams
yeah.
and to carry through, whether you're even going to have the support to evolve into the woman that you can
You are.
become,
Yeah,
or even the man that you can, all of
yeah,
that. Whether it's going to be a stifling or an enabling environment in your
yeah.
relationship. And so, and like I say to us women, the choice of who to marry is one gift you give to yourself.
True.
So shine your eyes.
Very true.
Shine your eyes and make sure you go for the best that you can find.
Yes.
Do not let yourself get under pressure and you take what's available. Be sure that you find someone that your values and your visions connect. So that way you can get all the things you want. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
By the way, Keppy is one of the men I'm hoping to put on my show the moment I get the release to start having men on the show, because
I'm sure
I
he would love.
absolutely love the
He
way he
would
talks.
love to be. He would
I
love to
absolutely
be.
love. So I'm so looking forward to when I get this release that I can put on men on the show and wham bam, so we can have this stimulating conversation. But let me tell you one of the things that endeared me to both of you. One day you came into the station and you said, we're all gisting. We're gisting,
Yeah.
gisting, gisting. And then he calls. And then you go like, everybody keep quiet. Keep quiet, everybody. I just got here. I just got here. And I'm like, what's going on? And then you now took the call. And then you now said, I just got here. I just got here. Yes, yeah, okay, yes, I'm fine. Everybody's here. Da, 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 da. And then after you now go like, oh, am I ever going to get used to reporting where I am and how I am and everything? And I'm like, can you imagine this woman? You have a caring husband who wants to know, were you able to drive from point A to point B safely? Did you get to go reach where you're going to? Have you met your friends? Are you guys having fun? And you're now saying, will I ever get used to this? I said, a woman is praying this prayer point now. Father, this man does not even know whether I do hair. He doesn't know whether I'm wearing shoe. He doesn't know whether I'm smiling. And look at someone that has it on a platter of gold. Oh my goodness. I'm like, do we really know what we want?
It's he finished. It's he finished. You know,
Oh,
he always says, let me know when you get there.
yeah.
I almost never remember. Almost never remember. So what happens is he would estimate the time it would take me to get there, and
Hmm.
then he would call, and I would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he'd be like, "Don't worry, it's all right." So he knows that part, you know. So that's the part we know each other. I always tell him, "I know you. You should know me. You ought to know me." But he keeps saying I'm a chameleon. I change. That's all right. One time, my thing was he travels. By the time he comes back, I'll have a totally different look. You know,
Yeah.
my hair or something, and he would be like, you never look the same. Recently, he said this to me again. It's been a long while. He said, "NY, you're just normal now, no, you don't do those things." One time he came back, he had gone off to work for about 2 weeks. By the time he came back, I had cut off all my hair, and it was like, I'm not talking about a short hairdo, as in I had going back my hair. So it was like, babes, what happened? Didn't you have money? Why are you looking so different? If money finished. No, he didn't say did you have money. He said did money finish? Because Keppy's thing is he's living. He doesn't care how much I have of my personal funds. He will leave money. My son once said to me one time, it was very small then. Went to the supermarket or to the market, and he saw something, a toy he wanted, and he wanted it. And I said, no, no, I don't have money. He said, but my daddy left you money. So everybody knows. Look, I don't have my own money. Please, I'm a kept woman. Kept is the money owner. I am a kept woman. So the thing is, you need to reinvent yourself all the time. You can't be stagnant in your looks, or if you like book, go to book. I don't like book. I'm not going to do masters and PhD and all that in different courses. I won't have a master's in communication, a master's in this. And I have a friend who does that. She just piles on the masters, and then she has finished with the masters. She's moved on to PhDs, and I'm like, are you
Yeah,
all right?
she's yeah, she is. She's sapiosexual.
Yes, I know. But
Um,
in my mind, are you all right? Like she doesn't understand when I look different. So recently, Kepi said to me, said, my wife, even when we didn't have money, you always
you used to
reinvent
try.
yourself.
You can't be
I don't
now.
understand. I don't understand this new cornrows every day. Every day you're weaving your hair back. I said, Kepi, please don't go and tell people you're weaving your hair back. It's cornrows. You'll be like, okay, I
Uh,
don't understand cornrows. So
he has
when
spoken now. You better
yes.
listen. He has just
No, so what
spoken.
I did, was I immediately went off and did my hair. So that's how come I had a new different look for Christmas, because this I love this thing on my head.
It's
It takes me
comfortable.
places quiet,
It's
and the heat.
comfortable.
And I'm at that time of that time in my life when I need comfort. I mean, I am
I know.
perimenopausal, so
Yeah, I
the
know.
heat,
I know. We all are.
ah,
We
the
all
heat
are.
is astronomical.
But the fact is that our mothers went through it and they didn't lose their cool, so we're not going to lose our
Wow.
cool either.
So part of not losing my cool now is I have to, like, tomorrow I have to go and do my hair and look pink, so that the
Because
man will not remind me that
you know that a bond, yes, a bond needs to be
yeah,
reinforced.
it needs to
You know,
be revitalized and revived now and then.
and then
It
like
can't
they
remain the
tell us,
same.
the men are what? They are visual. you
Yes,
know.
yes.
So, and you know that as they get older too, their vision will not be getting very clearer. Their vision
So
begins
I
to.
I need to
So you
be
need
bright.
to make it pop.
I need to be
Um,
bright all the time. Yeah.
so that brings me to what's your love language? Is Valentine around the corner? What's your love language?
You know what? I till today I still don't understand that what your love language is, because every day is supposed to be love for me. You have to show me love every day.
No, that's what
But
I was saying. Yeah, I'm saying, what's
I
your love
yeah,
language? What
that's what
what
I'm
makes
saying.
you?
Happy. Yeah. Now, thank you very much for bringing it down to my level, because I keep asking people which one is what's your love language. I don't understand it, but now you have brought it down to my level. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I there are certain things like I love kind people.
Mm.
You have to be kind. There's so much pain in the world right now that you can't be seen as being that person that heaps up more pain on another person. So you have to
Hmm.
be kind. You have to be loving. Once upon a time, this man, yes, I have to remind him, he used to write me poems.
So he
I
hasn't
had
written one in a while
He hasn't written one in a while. I have to let me send him
because
a
you have
message.
not chameleoned in a while as well.
No, but I chameleoned in December. He didn't write me a poem when I chameleoned. So I have to remind him that he finishes getting into this relationship. You haven't written me a poem in a while, you know. So um I love those little loving things. I like um when somebody is mindful of another person's thoughts, Another person, you know that this thing would hurt you or would hurt me, and you do
Mm.
it all the same. It's painful to me. I love i love helping people. I love being able to assist. Once upon a time I used to love cooking. Once in a while I love doing that. So so I love those kind of things. So I want to believe that, in fact, I think I just love kind people, thoughtful people.
Yeah, so
So that's my love
kindness,
language.
yeah,
Kindness,
kindness,
thoughtfulness.
thoughtfulness,
Yes, before you open your mouth and speak, actually think about how your speech would impact me. Would it make me feel better? For the longest time, at some point, I think I must have done a lot of bad things because baby stopped loving me. And then one day, after redemption, I must have redeemed myself because baby started loving me again. So I believe that everyone has an aura around them. That So that's my love language. Seeing the kindness, being your thoughtfulness, your kindness, just walking by a place and realizing that, oh, if I did this for you, you'd feel happy about it. I'm not a
Yeah.
material person. I don't mind gifts. I don't mind um, stuff, but
But
I
you
want,
you prefer to have
yeah,
more
yes, I want it to be
meaning
meaningful.
into
If
whatever it is.
Yes, if you give me a little thing, I appreciate it because you went out of your way and you thought about me at that point and you did it. So yes, you're right. I've never thought about it, but yes, I appreciate kindness and thoughtfulness. So that's my love language.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to let you run off without sharing a challenge that you encountered in the course of this relationship that you have and how
Okay.
you overcame so that
Okay.
we
Well,
can all learn from you.
there are plenty. I don't know which one to pick on. Um. Well, the girls have
Sorry,
tried
just
their
before you
best.
start,
Yes.
Julie, her name is Julie Shaguarinze. you know how
Oh,
you know how
hello,
I just
Julie.
keep calling all of you by your husband's name.
Yeah, she's
Well,
a sweet girl.
she's on here. She's saying both of you are making me giggle very hard here. I,
Ah,
I,
hello,
I can
Julie.
imagine that I need to pull her in here because she's also in the eye of the storm
Oh
like you.
yes, and she's a beautiful person. I love her.
Oh, are we going to struggle her now? Should we struggle how beautiful she
No, no
is
need.
or how
I,
nice she
I
is?
have a place in her heart. She has a place in mine.
Okay, she says we should just keep it down that she's at work so that they don't fire her. Julie, we love you like
We
that.
love you, Julie. We love you. She's a sweet person.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, great.
So
Yeah, so tell us about the challenge because we actually
okay,
just think that all you guys do is red carpet. So you dress up
it's a
and
lie.
then you tell
Oh.
us and then you
Every
tell us, oh, I'm wearing a DSA or
I
KSA
avoid
or
see I
something,
avoid those
something.
red carpets. Do I want to finish my husband's money? How much can you spend?
Ah,
I don't do
we
red
are we
carpet.
are we have seen you in some of them now. Should we pull
No,
up the
it was a
pictures?
mistake. Oh, it was a mistake. I was walking on by and they caught me. You know. Ha. So challenges. Okay, well, what challenge should I come up to? Are we talking about the health? No, let's leave that out. Are we talking about when one girl decides to call be your husband and decides that that's my own? No, I've never really had any of those experiences. Because I want to believe that when the man is stepping out, I will draw him back. Kepi calls me a witch. I'm quite intuitive. So when stuff is going to get out of hand, I immediately tell you. In fact, okay, it's not like I go out to find his phone. His phone will wander into my hand. And at that point, one message will pop up. And I will tell the man, I'll say, sir, you see this line you are towing? Ain't gonna work, sir. And then he would realize that yes, he might have been stepping out of line. You know, challenges every day just by being is challenging. You wake up. every day, and there's one challenge or the other. How do you surmount these things? By realizing, first, by loving myself. I love myself, so I use that. And my children are also, they remind me, my children remind me that life is not that easy. You want a good cry. One day, my son came up to me and said to me, "Mommy, you know I'm here. If you need to talk, we can talk." And yes, I was feeling a bit low that day. And so he noticed it. And he said, "Mommy, we can talk." And he hugged me. In fact, there was one time he did that. He hugged me. I cried. And he cried with me. So I'm happy that I'm bringing up a boy that realizes that,
Has
oh,
empathy.
yes,
Empathy.
yes. So I, when I'm challenged, I face it head on. If it's something that my husband has done I'm not happy about, now, especially now, I tell him immediately, and then we trash it out. But you know what I have realized? Okay, fine. They say don't go to bed angry. I will go to bed angry, yes. But I've talked it out, and I want to believe that because I've talked it out with you, I I can sleep better because I'm not a good bottler upper of things. It pains me in my tummy. When I'm stressed, it hurts in my tummy. And it starts with my
And
tummy and then it ends.
if I
Yeah.
may add, sorry for interjecting,
No, no, it's all right.
we hear that part of the reasons why women get all the cancers and all the ulcers is
Mm.
because we bottle things up and we are perpetually like angry. And so
Yes.
to live better and to live longer, we better start letting
Talk.
go of a couple of
Let it
things, you
go.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't hold on to stuff. We're angry. We've just finished vaccine. And the next minute I'm discussing the weather with him. It took some getting used to for him recently, but he's used to it. So he knows you better not hold on to it because I'll yap you. Oh, is that why you're holding on? Oh, if I bring up all the things you've done to annoy me, would you be able to move, sir? You won't. So let's leave it. We've attacked it. We've
Okay.
attacked it. Let's leave it there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that because we online in-laws and online farms, sometimes we do not know where to draw the boundaries.
No, no, no,
You
we
you
don't.
you find people will go to people's pages and they'll go and write for the lady. Your husband is so fine. I'm asking, is he single? It's supposed to
Ah,
be a joke, but all of us are not at the same
not all of us
emotional,
behave the same. Yes, because I
yes,
would laugh it
emotional
off.
stability, and
Yeah.
we really do not know what happened in that house that morning.
And not just that, not only
And that your
and
comment could be
also
a trigger.
no, but also, you need to know the kind of person you're with. I know the things that would set Keppy off. I know the things that would excite him. He's cerebral. We have conversations that you wouldn't believe. Sometimes I say something and we're like, this girl. I always forget that you're this way. So I know the kind of things that would excite him. I know what would draw him in. But I also know that half the time I need to laugh. Man, life is not that serious. Once upon a time, I used to say my mother died, but it wasn't a man that killed her. You know, I've always said that in jest. Always said in jest, but really, I mean, we can't come and go and kill ourselves because of man.
No, we certainly cannot go and come and kill
No.
ourselves. On that one, I agree with you. I
Yes.
agree
So
with
so don't
you.
take yourself too seriously, and don't take your
And that
relationship
brings
your
me,
relationship too seriously.
yeah, and that brings me to asking you what you do
Yeah.
for uh, self-care, personal care. What do you do? Because I mean, this is high tension, if you ask me, because when you have this kind of public bond, you must look a certain way. You must keep some things running, and then the schedule, because sometimes you become father and mother because he's gone on set, he's not there,
Yes.
and
Yes.
all
And yeah.
and self-care so that
Mhm.
when you're supposed to be a wife, you're a wife, and when you're supposed to be a mother, you're a mother, because those are the two words that actually resonate with you very much in everything you do. What's your self-care
Yeah, and
routine?
don't forget to add when you're supposed to be a girlfriend, you're a girlfriend. So when you're a girlfriend, you must look a
That
certain
is the
way.
thing now.
Yeah. So we still
I have
wear
a
the
team
short
vibe.
dresses. If yeah, we still do the things that we need to do. I so PGR, so I can't tell you the things we do, but so but you should remember first and foremost, I love myself. I walk
It's very
past,
important.
yeah, people. I walk past the mirror and I'm like, I'm not looking hot at this hour at this time. So I remind myself. So we exercise, but sometimes you get tired. So sometimes I get tired and I stop and I let myself go. When I see my jiggling parts, I remember that I'm supposed to be looking hot. And then have you seen that man recently? He's got muscles bulging in places and muscles are not supposed to bulge. So I have to look good. And then I need to take now I've learned I need to learn because I haven't really immersed myself in it. I need to learn that I need to have take me times. So I know how to quietly sit in one corner and be on my phone or be reading a book or watching a movie, taking a glass of wine, do what makes me happy at that point. I haven't quite gotten there yet because I haven't learned how to get up and take off travel. Every time I want to travel, I would begin to think, oh, how would Keppy manage without me around? How would the kids manage? Well, they manage. And you know what? If you drop today, somebody else would go
They
on.
will manage. Even if nobody else, they
Yes.
will manage.
Yeah, no, when I
They
say
will
somebody else
manage.
will go on, I mean the people that you're so worried about will go on. That's what
Yeah.
I mean by somebody else. So they will manage. So and I'm blessed with good genes, thank God. You know, You should see my dad. He's going to be 80 this year and he looks like he's awesome. And he still exercises. 3 hours of exercise. I joke you not. I'm not saying he's picking up a pin and dropping it. He's walking, he's doing his stretches, he does his stomach exercises 3 hours. And he will tell you. So I'm just blessed.
My face alone is enough to tell you that I'm not a fan of exercises.
My
Well,
darling, I they do
we have to
stop.
do it. No, we have to do it. We still
You
manage
have
to do
to.
30 minutes.
Yes,
We
yeah.
still manage to get in 30 minutes,
30
5
minutes
days.
is good. 30 minutes is good.
That's why I'm laughing at myself that if I'm doing just 30 minutes and your pops is
Mm.
doing 3 hours,
If my
the stress
father
is
if my
more.
father catches you, one time I traveled to Calabar and I was in my exercise phase and I took my exercise stuff, my canvas, my stuff, and I got there and he's like, I said, Daddy, please, when you're going out to work in the morning, can you wake me up, call me up? And he's like, Mama, will you be able to keep up? I'm like, yes, of course. And at this point, this was when I was really exercising, so I was feeling all that. Isn't it? My papa did front, I did back. I did struggle to reach him. And I'm
You
like,
see? That's why
and
in
he's like,
all things I stay in my lane. In my lane.
I was
Slow and
no, that was the
steady.
last though. That was the last day. It was like, Mama, if you can't keep up, just keep coming. I'm ahead of you. And then ever so often he would turn back and look at me and like, okay, 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 okay. And he would go and then come
Oh
back to me
wow.
and go,
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's really nice to know because honestly, we are beginning to live long these days, and so it's important that we live healthy, and
yes,
we have to do all
very
the things that
important.
we need to do so that we can live
Yes,
out our lives in a healthy way.
yes.
So this conversation has really, I'm sure you don't even realize it, we've overshot 1 hour.
And there's
Um,
more to talk about too.
there's a lot, but we just have to wrap so that you can go catch up your appointments for today.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to say to you two more questions before I let you go.
Okay,
Anyway,
no
so how
problem.
do you keep the emotional connection alive? Because I mean, you've had the children are
Yes.
all grown now, and
Yeah.
then you're still there. I mean, you're still the envy of many relationships. We
Oh,
need you
thank
to
you.
come and teach a master class because we need to teach people. It's true. We just think that how will I put it? When I was making a post, I said, how do some bonds survive and then some don't even make it? I mean, we've heard
Okay.
stories of, from the wedding reception, the marriage scattered. We've
Yeah.
had 7 days is scattered. We had 1 month is scattered. So honestly, when we find relationships like yours that has gone through the grind, taking all the challenges, both the ones we're saying publicly and the ones we're not, and it's
Hmm.
still basking, and the two people, you can see the energy, you can feel the chemistry. All I need to do is to see a picture of you and Keppy, and I'm like, these people still got it. So what do you do? Tell us so that we can copy and paste, please.
Okay. First, I want to remind you that no two relationships are the same, Sha.
Yeah, but there's some
The
principles that we
things.
can copy and paste.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take myself seriously, and I don't take him seriously in
So
certain
from now,
things.
I'm joking. I'm joking everywhere.
No, you must, though, for your heart's sake, you know. And well, we're both committed to the relationship.
That's the word.
That's important. We're both committed. I mean, it's not always been rosy. I tell people that it looks like it, isn't it? If you look back, it looks like every 7 years you have every 7 years of things have been well. One day you wake up and everything is upside down,
Basbos,
you know.
basbos, basbos,
But
basbos
if you
everywhere.
can manage to pass that phase, things are all right again. So you just need to remember that you both are from different backgrounds, you know, and you're two different individuals, and you've come together. You've decided that this must work. This has to work. Well, not to your detriment, though. I mean, there's so many factors. You guys have to talk about things. You guys have to be ready to prop the other person up. You know, don't don't think of your self importance too much. Let that one leave. Let it stop at the door. You're home. You're home. You're with your partner. You're with your children. They're front and center at this point. I'm home. One time I used to go clubbing, and I never used to go with Kepi. He would know. He said to me, he said, "You've given us so much that if you need some me time, take it." And I would go off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday. As in, I'm coming home. It's not like I'm going and staying. I'll go out on Friday night, boogie. I can't try that now. 3 days. I would just collapse for the next 1 month. But I'll go out Friday night, and then Saturday again. I can go out Saturday night, and then Sunday when I come home on Sunday, he will say, "Okay, so we have church." So I'm not quite sure whether he was quite enjoying it, but he gave me that expression. I love clubbing. He loves live bands. So we have sometimes I'll go with him, sometimes
Make
he'll
a
go with me. We just generally have fun. So you need to you need to you need to understand each other. Understanding is key and is important. You know yourself, you know your spouse or your significant other. You should know each other. You should realize that life is not like that. He goes off to work, he comes home. I'm interested in knowing. I actually um was interested in knowing about his industry when we met. I mean, I'm not saying I wanted to act, even though I've dabbled a few times, you know, but I was interested in knowing. I wasn't envious of the fact that he was in the limelight. So I took a step back. But because of who I am, I also want to believe that I'm such a bubbly person that if I'm in a room, I'm not hiding. So I understood that, and he understood that this is who she is. And we came to a realization that this is what we are. I don't encroach on him. He doesn't encroach on me. I do my thing, he does his thing. And when we have to come together, we do our thing together. So that's it. You have to have an understanding of who you are, who I am. It's not like we don't have off days. We have serious off days. For the longest, I always said to people, I'm sure there are days Kepi wakes up and looks at me, I'm like, who is this person? And then there are days I wake up and look at him and like, how did I get here? But now we have gone past all that. Now it's a companionship. The other day I said my brother, he said, hey, don't call me my brother. I'm not your brother. I said, it's just an expression. He says, yeah, but I don't want you to begin to look at me as your brother. So that's it. You have to you have to be ready to commit. What
Commitment is the thing.
yes is the
Commitment
thing.
is
So
key.
that's why I said no to relationships that are alike. So what for me could be commitment might not be commitment for you. So you need to find that thing.
However you define it, you
Yes.
need to commit to
Yes.
your
You
relationship
need to.
to
You need
making
to
it
be ready to
work.
see it
So
through
long
because
as
it's
there is
not
no threat to
easy.
your life.
Mm-mm. As far as there's no threat to your life. If it's a threatening relationship, if it's a violence, whether it's emotional is even worse than physical, I think. Emotional or
Than physical,
physical,
yeah.
yes. Physical at least is fist to the body, right? Emotional is fist to the
Hmm.
heart, to the head. Like I said, I'm an empath. So I feel things in my gut, in my belly. Just like I have my instincts come from and every time I ignore myself, things happen. So emotional, if I was in an emotional relationship and I would have been out of it by now, you know.
Thank you very much. And then to quickly
Thank you
bring
very
this to
much.
a close, could you please leave
Yes.
us with your final thoughts, your advice to intending and young couples within and without the entertainment industry? Please leave them with some advice because you've done this, you've done that, you've got the badge.
Honestly, it's been a long time. I've been tethered to one man for 32 years of my life. So, um, yeah. So first and foremost, what I would advise is you need to love yourself first and treat yourself well. Because if you don't love yourself enough to treat yourself well, whoever comes into your life will just keep on doing what it is they see you doing, you know? And then communication is very important. One, never start what you cannot finish or what you can't
Mm,
sustain.
mm-hmm.
If you're not going to be able to sustain this thing, don't do it, especially in a relationship that translates to marriage, for instance, or in a long-term relationship. Don't start and assume that one day you can change it. Never believe that you can change anybody. You can't change anybody. This is who this person is. This is who this person is going to be. See that man called Keppy? He's such a player. He plays. Everybody, he meets you, and the first thing he says, I go give you belle. I go marry you. You know? And then if you're not emotionally balanced, you might
Stupid.
think that he wants more, you know. And when by the time he has finished playing and he has moved on, you will be wondering, what happened right now? So you I'm not going to change him. Um I'm not going to change him now because this is who I met. That's how I met him. This is always what he's been. So I'm not going to change him. How I am is how he met me. I might have matured, and you know the thing, women mature faster. So yes, we might change along the line, you know, but your fundamental person is still your fundamental person. You're not going to change from that. So don't think that you're going to come to a relationship to change your partner. It doesn't work that way. Um, love, be kind, always. You know, think before you react. Think it through because sometimes you react, spur of the moment, and do some things or say some things or act a certain kind of way, and then later you can't take it back and you don't come back from there. There's so many things you can't come back from once you've done them. Forgive, compromise. That's what relationships are about. Forgiveness, compromise. We're all humans and we make mistakes. As far as the mistake is not life threatening, you know, forgive and move on. And don't hold on to the past though. If you hold on to the past, you can't move forward. It's not going to help you. It's not. So that's it. Communicate, love, be kind, compromise. Compromise that is not killing. Because there's some compromises that, you know, that just weigh you down, and you can't get out of that, you know. Communication. I think I mentioned communication already. And don't try to change the other person. Embrace the other person for who they are. This is who you fell in love with, or this is who you started off with. Not all relationships start with love. So I can't say this is who you fell in love with. Some relationships start from other things and gradually move towards love. But if you're not, and then friendship, you have to be friends. If you're friends, you can pick up from wherever you stopped. I've got friends.
When love flies from the window, the friendship remains.
Yes, friendship is there. At least you have that. So, and then after you're friends for a while, you can slip back into love again. You know, even siblings don't like each other all the time. Always remember that.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you,
You
Ezinne,
are
for
so
having me.
amazing. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming on our show today, Young.
Oh, thank you
Um,
very much.
yes, and I'm enjoying calling you Young now. So
You
when
see?
next I see you, I'm probably going to say Young.
Yes, go ahead. You can also call me a kitey.
Oh, okay. There she gives me
That's
another name.
that's my my
So,
my pet name from home.
oh, great. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming on the show. We've learned quite a lot from you today.
Thank you very
Dear
much for
Up You
having me.
Women, dear Up You Women, you're very welcome. Today's episode has truly been exciting. Very. You know, I love the fact that our guest has a very deep understanding of herself, of who she is, of her roles, and
Yeah.
her bonds that she's committed herself to. You know, we have once again been reminded of the power of nurturing relationships. Relationships are seeds, bonds are seeds. They have to be nurtured. The right water, the right amount of sun, the right amount of friendship, the right amount of compromise, the right amount of kindness, everything in the right balance. And then
Yeah.
you find the relationship growing. You know, no matter how glamorous the world may appear, empowering bonds should always be a priority. Whether you're in the entertainment industry, whether you're a celebrity or not, because the truth is, we all need each other.
Yeah.
The right hand cannot say to the left hand, I am not going to go with you. So we all need each other. We need to do what? Take the time to communicate, to be present, to support, to compromise, and also to practice self-care. So we need to put away distractions. We need to turn off the notifications. We need to show genuine interest in our relationships. That's how we get to nurture them. And that's how they become empowering bonds. Kepi wouldn't be who he is today if he wasn't married to who he's married to. And
Thank you.
Nyong wouldn't be who she is today if she wasn't married to who she's married
True.
to.
True.
So, in all that we're doing, even as we achieve in our lanes, we must always remember to come back because my Bible makes me to understand that one can chase down 5,000, but that two can chase down 10,000 and sometimes even more. So, even as you go and look at your individuality in a relationship, you must also make sure that the mutual concept, the mutual idea for which the relationship was bettered, that you stay committed to it so that you can achieve all that you should, all that you're meant to achieve in your given lifetime. I can speak English, eh?
No, be
So this
small.
is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on all our social media platforms at Up You with Ezinne. And yes, yes, put on your notification for me. Get copies of our books and don't forget to be a part of our community. We'd love to continue conversing with you right after this show is over. Thank you, Julie, for joining us. Thank you, every other person, for joining. Julie says she enjoyed the show and was reminded of some things that are important in relationships.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So, big up to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week, starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, and the amazing Up You team. Join us next week for another captivating episode. as we continue to explore different topics aimed at empowering and uplifting you. Until then, everyone, please stay connected with your loved ones and keep inspiring others. My name is Ezinne Kufrekanem, and it's up
Okay.
you. Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
Ezinne.
Bye.